Hey everyone, it's Kate and welcome back to my home. Today's mat workout, all you will need is a mat, a Pilates ball. If you don't have a Pilates ball, you can try to use something similar in size, and a free wall space. So we will get started. So we're going to start with the standing roll down today, using the ball to get a little bit more feedback with the ball pressed against the wall. We'll start with the ball, maybe just right between your shoulder blades. And from there, we'll stack the feet sit bone distance apart. We'll put a soft bend in both the knees and start to feel that wrapping from the inner and outer thighs. So your inner thighs are kind of hugging towards the midline, and we have that wrapping sensation coming from the outside line of your hips, those glute muscles. From there, we'll rest the arms down by the sides and just stack your head over the shoulders and over your hips. We'll take an inhale here to prepare. And on your exhale, just begin to tuck that chin towards your chest. Inhale and pause here. And exhale to stack back up. On this next one, we'll go down a little bit further. You'll notice as you begin to roll down into the mid-back region, as you roll down and forward, the ball will kind of roll up. So we'll take an inhale to prepare. And exhale, chin to chest, slowly articulating one bone at a time. Inhale and pause. And exhale to stack back up. We'll keep going here. So we'll take another inhale and exhale, chin to chest. This time going as far as you can without losing the ball behind you. Inhale and pause, and exhale to stack back up. And from here, we'll reposition the ball just a little bit lower, right on maybe the small of your back. And we'll take an inhale here, same exact movement pattern, exhaling, tucking that chin to chest, slowly peeling one bone at a time, letting the ball roll as you roll down. This time with the ball a little bit lower, you'll be able to tap into your low back a little bit more. Inhale and pause, and exhale, belly button to spine, slowly stacking back up. And we'll do that one more time. Inhale at the top, and exhale, chin to chest, slowly articulating one bone at a time, all the way back down. Inhale and pause at the bottom. And exhale, find that lower abdominal engagement first, stacking from the sacrum, right where your body is pressing into the ball. And then we continue our way all the way back up into a full standing position. So from there, we'll continue our standing warm-up with the ball, continued with it pressed against the wall. So we'll bring the ball back to right between the shoulder blades, pressed against the wall. And we're going to warm up around our shoulders a little bit first. So again, feet are still sit bone distance apart. There's a soft bend in the knees, and we have that wrapping from the inner and outer thighs. We're going to work on some overhead shoulder motion to start. So you'll have the arms just reaching down by your sides, palms facing each other, and the first thing we'll do is reach the fingertips down towards the floor. As you do that, you should start to feel that energy under your armpits as your lats begin to warm up. We'll take an inhale there to prepare. As you exhale, we'll draw that belly button to spine, gluing the ribs down, and this time we'll just reach to shoulder height. Inhale and pause there. And exhale to slowly lower back down.
As you inhale, feel the ribs kind of expand into the ball behind you. And as you exhale, you're pulling away from the ball, drawing in, corseting your abdominals as you begin to reach the arms to shoulder height. We inhale and pause there, and as you exhale, we lower back down. On these next few, we'll go to full overhead motion, so we'll inhale to prepare, reaching those hands down towards the floor, engaging from those muscles under the shoulder first as we exhale and reach the arms overhead. Let's pause overhead for a moment. What we're looking for here is still being able to feel that engagement from under the shoulders. So you might notice as you reach overhead, maybe your shoulders want to kind of hike up towards your ears. So we're trying to keep them down. And then the other thing we're working on is that connection from our rib cage and upper abdominals in relation to arm movement. So we're going to try that again. So your arms are still up there. So we'll take an inhale and exhale to lower all the way back down. And on this next one, we're going to be more mindful of keeping those shoulders plugged down and ribs glued down. So we'll take an inhale to prepare as we find that reach, and keep that reach as we exhale and reach all the way overhead, keeping that space around the neck and keeping the ribs glued down with that abdominal connection. Inhale and pause, and exhale to lower back down. And we'll do one more like that. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, reaching overhead. We'll lower the arms just to shoulder height now. Palms are still facing each other. And we're going to work out into a T position. So we'll inhale to prepare here. And as you exhale, just open those arms to a T position. Inhale to come back. And exhale to open. And we'll continue that movement, coordinating our breath, and continuing to be aware of what's going on in the rest of our body. Neck is stacked over the shoulders. Feet are sit-bone distance apart. We have that energy between the inner and outer thighs. Shoulders are still plugging down with that wrapping sensation coming forward. And we're keeping the shoulders away from our ears. Exhaling out. And inhale to come back in. We'll keep the arms in, and let's bend them to 90 degrees now. We're going to go into that same motion, so inhale to prepare, exhale to come out, keep those elbows at that shoulder height. They may want to drop. We're keeping them at the height of the shoulder. Inhale to come back. As you come back, try to keep that width from your shoulder blades, almost like they're trying to pull away from the ball that you're pressing into. Exhaling out, inhaling to come back. On this next one, we'll come out and stay. We're going to inhale to lower the hands to that horizontal line, parallel with the floor, and exhale to externally rotate those shoulders back to a vertical line. Inhale to lower. Shoulders are staying plugged down here. Ribs are still glued down. Abdominals are engaged. Exhale to lift to that vertical line. Last one, inhaling to lower to the horizontal line, and exhale to lift. We'll keep the arms here. For a moment, don't worry about that rib connection. Let it go as you reach your elbows and your back line of your hand towards the wall, kind of opening up for a moment around the pec region. We'll bring that arm, or both arms, back together, and let's lower them back down. And from here, we're going to go into some of our footwork. So the ball's going to go, I would say, between your mid and low back. You may have to adjust it to what feels right to you. I'm just moving my mat a little bit out of the way. So you're gonna walk your feet out maybe about 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet away from the wall. And again, this is another thing that's going to be dependent on your leg length, so you might have to adjust it as you go along. We're pressing back into the ball, and we're gonna work into some wall-assisted squats or a wall slide. So arms are rested down at your sides, feet are sit-bone distance apart. We have the arches lifting, the wrapping from the outside of the hips, and inner thighs plugging towards each other. We'll take an inhale to prepare, and an exhale to bend down into our squat. And inhale to come back up. Let's change the breath pattern there actually. So we'll take an inhale this time to lower down into our squat, just like when you're coming in towards the foot bar. And then exhale, pressing from the back line of your legs to come all the way back up. Feet, knees, and hips are all in line with each other. And again, still finding that balance between the inner and outer thighs. Inhaling to lower. And exhaling, pressing from those glutes and hamstrings to straighten all the way back out. We'll do 2 more like this. Exhaling up. Last one. And from here, we'll connect the heels together. So heels together, toes apart, still gently pressing into the ball behind you. We're gonna hinge at our hips, sit bones reach wide as we lower, and then exhale, those inner thighs are hugging towards each other for us to come all the way back up into a standing position. Inhale to bend. I didn't mention with the first one, but the foot position, as far as how far out, as you bend down, we're making sure that the knees don't go in front of the toes. So the knees are really only coming to about a 90-degree angle. And so if your feet are too close to the wall, the knees are going to be a little bit too far out or away. And that can put a lot of stress on the front line of that joint. So if you need to adjust the angle of your feet, go ahead and bring them out just a little bit. We'll do 2 more in this position. Honestly, I lost count. Last one, inner thighs are wrapping into the outside of the hips. You have those glutes activated and inner thighs pulling towards each other. From here, we'll go into a wide V position. So almost like our sumo squat. And then same thing. So we'll inhale, hinging from the hips, keeping a nice neutral spine. Sit bones are wide. And then exhale, pressing from those glutes. Inner thighs are still hugging the midline. Inhale to hinge, coming into that squat. And then exhale, activating from the glutes to come back up. Let's do 4 more. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to straighten. 3 more. And last one. From there, we're going to go into some modified single leg work. So you can bring your feet back together, shake your legs out a little bit if needed. And let's start with our right foot. So what we'll do, you can reposition that ball where you feel it's most comfortable. Right foot will step out similar distance away where you just did the other series. You can hold on to the wall for this. Your left foot's gonna kind of come back and you're gonna rest on the ball of your foot. Okay, right foot is in line with the knee and with the hip. When you're doing, so this is pretty much a modified version of single leg footwork. This left foot that's back is only there to help you with balance. All of the work should be coming from the right leg. So So we'll go through this together. Arms are rested down at your sides. You're gonna bend into that right leg. Yeah. Coming down into a single leg squat position. Exhaling through the right glute to come back up. Minimal weight through that left leg. You can almost, if you needed to, lift it off the floor. Let's go 4 more. Trying to keep that right hip, knee, and ankle all in line. That knee might want to drop in. So we're keeping that wrapping from the outside of the hip. 2 more. Last one. From here you can hold on to the wall to switch feet. So left foot comes forward in line with the hip. Right foot comes back onto the ball of your foot. We level off our hips. And then we'll continue on the left side. Inhaling to bend into that left leg now. Minimal weight through the right. Exhaling, pushing through that left glute and hamstring. Inhale to bend. Exhale to straighten. 4 more. Last one. You can bring your hands back on the wall. Bring both feet out and walk them both back in. You can release the ball. So from here, we're going to continue our workout on our mat. So we just finished our standing portion of our workout. So we are going to switch down to the mat now. So you can take your ball with you and go ahead and lie down on your back. Feet are going to be sit bone distance apart, and the ball can come right between your knees. And we'll warm up just with a little bit of breathing just to acclimate ourselves to the mat. And we'll cycle in our breathing with that ball that you now place between your knees. So we'll take an inhale here, letting those ribs expand east to west, breathing into the upper back, pressing the upper back into the mat, and letting that ball expand with air as well. As we exhale, we're pressing into the ball as we activate through the inner thighs, lifting up through the pelvic floor, corseting the ribs, and drawing that belly button in towards your spine. So as we inhale, everything expands. And as we exhale, everything comes up, down, and together. Inhale to expand. And exhale to draw in. We'll continue that breath pattern right into some pelvic rocking. So on this next exhale here, we'll tuck the pelvis, letting that low back melt into the mat. And we inhale to release the pelvis forward, anterior tilt. And exhale, belly button to spine, posterior tilt, back flattens into the mat. 2 more like that. Last one. I'm going to actually move my ball a little bit, sorry. And so on this next one, we inhale, release the pelvis forward, and exhale, tucking at the pelvis. This time we will begin to articulate one bone at a time, all the way up into your pelvic curl or bridge. Inhale and pause at the bottom. And exhale to articulate all the way back down. That was the top, not the bottom. Inhale, release forward. And exhale to articulate all the way up. Inhale and pause at the top. And exhale, melting down at the ribs first to articulate all the way back down. Let's do one more like that. Inhale, release the pelvis forward. Exhale, melting the low back into the mat. Slowly articulating one bone at a time as we continue the reach of those knees away. And inhale and pause. And exhale to articulate all the way back down. We'll come back up on this next one and stay. And we're going into shoulder bridge prep. So we'll keep that hug of the ball here. Let's take an inhale. As you exhale, we're going to straighten out the right leg. Inhale to lower. Exhale to switch. Inhale to lower. Exhale to switch. One more on each side. We'll pause and stay in our lifted bridge. You're going to take an inhale here, expanding at the ball, and then exhale, drawing in at the ball, lifting up from your pelvic floor. Inhale to release from the ball slightly, and exhale, pressing back in, activating from those inner thighs. Abdominals are still engaged, ribs glued down. 3 more. 2 more. And last one. As we press in, we will also articulate all the way back down on that exhale. Releasing forward, and then for a moment you can hug your knees in towards your chest. From here, you can take the ball out for a moment, bring both legs down. We'll just warm up with a few leg changes. So we're finding that neutral pelvis position. Slight arch in the low back. Ball is to the side. Stop moving. Okay. So we'll take an inhale here to prepare. And exhale, lift that right leg up to tabletop and keep it there. Inhale and pause. Exhale, draw that belly button to spine as you switch legs. Right lowers, left lifts. Inhale and pause. Exhale to switch. Inhale. Exhale, switch. We'll do 3 more on each side. One more on each side. Right leg is lifted. We'll bring the left up to meet it. And we'll bring the ball now in between the knees. We're going to go into spine twist from this position. If this is too much, you can also do this with your feet rested down on the mat, ball still in between the knees. So if you're feeling your low back at all here, or even like your hip flexors or quads, if any of that's taken over, bring your feet down to the mat for this exercise. Either position, you're bringing your arms out to your side. And we're going into spine twist. So we'll take an inhale here to bring both legs over towards the right. And then exhale, left obliques, pull you back to center. As far as the formation of the legs, the feet, the knees, and each hip are all in line with each other. That ball is giving you feedback, pressing into the ball, but the feet are not going to come together, so we keep everything in line. We inhale over towards the left, and exhale back to the midline. So everything in that bottom half, inhaling over, exhaling back, is moving as one unit. Let's go 2 more each way. Only rotating to the point where you can maintain that control. 1 more each direction. And last one over to the left. We'll hug the knees in towards the chest for a moment. Or you can even take the ball out for a moment here and just rock the legs side to side. releasing any tension that may have developed a little bit during that exercise. Let's bring both legs down to the mat. We're going to bring the ball kind of like around the shoulder blade region. So from here, we're going to do a roll up just to get to that position. So you can reach the arms overhead. We'll take an inhale here as you lower the arms, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders, and then slowly articulating up. Use your legs if you need. You can even bend your knees if needed. So from here, we're going to set up the ball, like I said, right around the shoulder blades. And you can adjust it to what feels right for you also with this exercise. So we're going to go into an assisted chest lift and chest lift with rotation. So we're going to bring the hands interlaced behind the head. Shoulders are plugged down here. And from here, we're going to work into our chest lift. So we're going to take an inhale actually first to kind of let ourselves release over the ball a little bit. And then exhale, glue those ribs down, lifting just slightly away from the ball, but not all the way up. Inhale to release. And exhale to lift. As you release back, you're going to keep that chin tucked. It may want to release back, but that creates a lot of tension behind the neck. So we're keeping that head tucked, chin to chest, almost like you were holding onto a small ball under your chin. We exhale to lift up into our chest lift. Inhale to release back forward. As we lift up, we're looking to keep that pelvis neutral, so it might be tempting to do this, but we're looking to find control from our lower half. So let's try that again. We inhale and release back. Exhale, keep the pelvis still as you lift just from the upper half of your body. Maybe you don't go as far, that's okay. Inhale to release back. On this next one, we'll lift up and stay. And we'll go into very small rotations. So we'll take an inhale here to prepare, and as you exhale, we're going to rotate slightly over towards the right. The ball really throws you off here, so if you go too far, you're going to feel like you're going to fall off. Exhale to rotate over towards the left. Inhale to come back. As we rotate over, exhale to rotate. We're looking to keep equal weight through both sit bones, not allowing that weight to shift. We're also looking to try to keep our shoulders lifted here. So as you come back to center, we're not dropping, we're keeping that lift, which makes this exercise a lot harder. Exhaling to rotate, inhaling back. Exhale, rotate, inhale back. One more time each way. And we'll release back over the ball. If you feel comfortable, you can let your head go for a moment and reach your arms into a wide position, just allowing that stretch through the front line of your body. If this doesn't feel comfortable or safe, please don't do it. We'll bring the hands back behind the head. You can reach your arms up towards your knees. So we're going to work into an assisted roll-up now. So you can straighten out both the legs. The ball's going to stay right where it is. And we're going to bring our arms just down by our hips. So we're in the position, if you were doing a roll-up, at the hardest point of the movement, where you really need to tap into that abdominal connection. So we're just going to isolate this piece of the movement and work on dissociating our lower abs from our hip flexors. So the ball is really allowing us to be fully supported in this lifted position. So what we'll work on is just lifting slightly away from the ball, using those lower abs. So we'll take an inhale to prepare, and exhale, belly button to spine, just lifting slightly away from the ball. Inhale, pause, and exhale to articulate back down to the ball. Inhale, and exhale to lift. Toes are pointed, feet are together, hugging those inner thighs. Inhale, pause. Exhale to lower. We're going to do 5 more. Really pressing that back line of the leg into the mat, not allowing your feet to rise. Inhale, pause, and exhale to lower. 4 more. So we're never losing contact with that ball. It's just providing some assistance and feedback. Drawing that belly button to spine, deep, deep abdominal connection. Legs are still pressed down into the mat. Inhale, pause. Exhale to lower. 3 more. 2 more. Inhale, pause. Exhale to lower. And on this last one, we'll take an inhale and exhale. Palms are facing each other this time. And we're going to articulate all the way up. Really tapping into that lower abdominal connection. Keeping that C curve, we'll reach towards our toes. Inhale and pause. And exhale to slowly articulate back down. Be mindful of where your ball went if it rolled away. From here, we'll rest the arms down for a moment. We're going to bend both knees in. We're going to go into some single and double leg stretch using that ball as an assist. So if it did roll away, we're bringing that ball right between the shoulder blades once again. Pelvis is going to be released forward to start. And we'll bring both knees up. You can tuck a little bit at the pelvis here if that's more comfortable for your back. So from here, we're in that assisted chest lift position. Both knees are hugging towards each other. And we'll start with both hands on the right leg with the left leg kicked out straight. Both feet are on the same horizontal line. We'll inhale to prepare and exhale to switch. Inhale, pause, exhale to switch. Feel that the ball is supporting you, but also in a way making it more challenging. Maybe you feel a little less stable. Almost forces you to tap into your abdominal muscles a little bit more. 2 more on each side. We'll bring both knees back in. And you can hug your knees in towards the chest for a moment. We'll come back into that position. Legs are in tabletop. And this time we're hugging onto both legs. We will inhale to straighten the legs as we reach the arms overhead. And exhale, arms circle as we bend the knees back to tabletop. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to come back to the start position. Inhale, exhale, circle around and back. 3 more. Keeping it slow and controlled here. Last one. From here, we'll bring 1 foot at a time back down to the mat and hug on to those legs to bring yourself back up all the way into a seated position. We'll take the ball and we're going to switch positions here. So holding on to the ball, you can slowly articulate all the way back down towards the mat. Maybe reach the arms over your head for a moment and just stretch those legs long. Get a nice little stretch. So from here, we're not done with abdominal work yet. So we're going to bring that ball between the knees once your legs are up in a tabletop position. If it's too much for your hip flexors or for your back, we can play around with other positions as well as we go along. But that ball is in between the knees, and we're going to bring both legs up to tabletop. And actually, this position could be enough for you. So just holding this position, working on your breath work, drawing that belly button into spine. Just hanging out here is a great way to start to work on using your breath to really engage those lower abs, trying to keep the thighs quiet and keeping it out of your low back. So if this feels appropriate for you, just work through a few breaths here, really feeling those lower abs kick in. If you want more, we're going to work into a hip hinge here. So we're going to take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, really engage from those lower abs, drawing belly button to spine, keeping the knees bent at a 90-degree angle and hinging at the hips, only to the point that you feel you can keep your back in the same position. Inhale and pause. Exhale to come back. Let's try that again. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, pressing into the ball as you hinge forward, keeping the low back in a neutral position. Inhale and pause. Exhale to come back. Now, it may feel like you can go all the way down, and maybe for some of you, you can, but I'm just going to show you what I mean here as far as the back is involved. So I'm going to move my arms so you can see. So if you keep going, your back may start to arch, the ribs may start to flare, and that puts a lot of stress on some of those strapping muscles in your low back to really, they start to grip, and you can end up getting some back spasms and back pain from doing that. So when I say to keep the back in a neutral position, for me today, right now, when I come down, I can start to feel my back want to lift right around here. So I'm not going any further past there. Exhaling to come back. Last one. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, engage, belly button to spine, hinging at the hips. Inhale, pause. Exhale to come back. We'll take the ball out for a moment, lower both legs down to the floor. We'll separate the feet, just the width of your mat. And we're just going to rock the legs side to side, almost reaching that inner knee towards the mat as the outer knee falls out. Just releasing any tension that may have developed, because we're going to try a few other things for our abdominal work. So from here, we'll bring the feet back, sit bone distance apart. We're going to bring one leg at a time back to our tabletop position. And we're going to go into a modified version of coordination that we do on the reformer. We're not going to add in the chest lift today, so arms are going to be rested down at the sides. Head's going to stay rested on the mat. And we're going to work into some leg extensions now. So we'll take an inhale here to prepare. Exhale to straighten both legs away. Inhale to come back. Exhale to straighten. As you straighten, you can choose what angle feels right to you. The lower you go, the more challenging it will be on the abdominals. Whatever you choose, you need to do what's right for your body. So going too low could be more stressful on your low back. And we want to get stronger in a healthy way. So we're just going to do one more here. Inhale to come back. Exhale to straighten and pause. We're going to do 5 pulses. And we'll bend the knees all the way back in. Pull that ball out. And we'll hug our knees towards our chest. From here, we can roll like a ball into a seated position. So we just finished our abdominal work, so we're going to go into spine stretch from here. So we're in a seated position. You can sit back a little bit on your mat. We're going to do this modified, so the ball will come between the feet to start. So first we're going to do just a modification, just getting a little bit more of an inner thigh workout. So the first thing you will do is try to find that position where your shoulders are stacked right over your hips. For me right now, my knees need to be bent to start. We're going to have the palms facing each other, toes are pointed, and we're hugging in towards that ball so you can feel the inner thighs starting to kick in. We'll take an inhale here to prepare, and exhale, chin to chest, slowly articulating one bone at a time as we reach towards our toes. Inhale and pause, and exhale, belly button to spine to stack all the way back up. If your knees are bent, you can play around with trying to get those straight now as you warm up. We'll take an inhale and exhale, hugging that ball as you tuck your chin towards your chest, slowly articulating one bone at a time. Inhale and pause, and exhale to stack back up. From there, we're going to work into another modification. So we'll bring the feet wide now, toes are flexed, and we're going to use the ball to help us roll. So we're stacking our shoulders over our hips. One hand is stacked over the other, over the ball. We'll take an inhale to prepare, and exhale, tuck that chin towards your chest, slowly peeling one bone at a time off an imaginary wall as you roll the ball on the mat. Inhale and pause at whatever your end range is, and exhale, draw that belly button to spine to stack all the way back up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and pause, and exhale to stack back up. Last one. All right, we'll bring the ball to the side. You can bring both knees in towards your chest for a moment. So from there, we can grab our ball again. We are going to go into our sideline series. We're going to do a really fun modification to our side plank. So you're going to bring your knees to a 90-degree angle, and you're going to line up your legs with the rest of your body. So from your elbow down to your knees, all in one straight line. The ball is coming right between your knees, and each of your feet are in line with each of your knees. From here, we're on the elbow to start, but from here we're going to bring the hand onto the mat and come into a side plank. Right arm is reaching up towards the ceiling, so we're on our left side to start. So we'll just hold this position, keeping everything in one straight line, using your breath to keep that abdominal connection. And from here, we're going to work into some hip rotation on the leg that's up, so that right leg. So you're going to keep both knees hugging into that ball, and you're just going to rotate the right hip to reach your right foot up towards the ceiling, and then back down. Exhaling to rotate, inhaling to come back down. That arm that's down, we're trying to keep that shoulder plugging down. You might want to hike there, but we're getting some bonus shoulder stability on that left arm. Inhale to rotate, exhale to come back. 2 more. Last one. And we can lower down, and we'll switch sides. So you can get yourself situated here. You can start on your forearm if that feels more comfortable. You can also stay on your forearm with this exercise too. So knees are stacking up with the rest of the body. We'll now come up onto that right hand into our side plank position, adjusting the ball if you need to. And from here, we're keeping that right shoulder plugged down. Just taking a few breaths here first, using your breath to find that abdominal connection. Keeping that right shoulder plugged down. And from here, we'll go into that rotation. Inhaling to rotate, exhaling to come back. We'll do 3 more. We will lower back down. You can take the ball out. So we just finished some of our sideline work, and we're going to go on to our hands and knees now. Keep the ball handy. So hands are going to be stacked under the shoulders. Knees will be stacked under your hips. We're going to find a nice neutral position here. So you can just kind of let your pelvis release forward first and then rock everything back and try to find just a position right in the middle. So we're still finding that nice neutral position of our spine. Shoulders are plugging down, keeping a small micro bend in the elbows. So from here, we're just going to grab onto that ball with our left hand and reach it forward. We're going to work into some arm work with that left arm. So keeping that left arm forward, the first thing you'll do is just try to plug that left shoulder down away from your ear. Keep both sides of your spine long. We'll take an inhale to prepare, and as you exhale, we're just reaching that left arm towards the ceiling. Inhale to lower, and exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. We'll do 3 more. Last one. We'll bring that ball out to the side now to a T position. Take an inhale to prepare and exhale to lift out to a T. Inhale, lower, exhale to lift. Three more. Last one. We're going to bend that arm to a 90-degree angle. We'll inhale to rotate, ball comes towards the floor. Exhale to rotate back up. Inhale to lower, exhale to lift. 3 more. Working our rotator cuff here. Last one. From here, we'll bring that elbow pin to the side at a 90-degree angle. Keep that right shoulder still plugging down. We'll take an inhale here and exhale to straighten back, triceps. Inhale to come back in. Exhale to straighten. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. We'll lower that ball down, and you can come back into a rest pose.
Taking a couple breaths here. We'll come back up.
We'll grab the ball onto the other side and stack back up into our quadruped position. And I guess one thing I will note here is this is a lot of time in that position. The arm that's down as you're going through all these motions, in my opinion, almost is working harder because it's a lot of stability work on that shoulder that's supporting you. So as you're going through all these motions, it's really important that you're still toned into what's going on the other side. If that shoulder's starting to ache, if you're starting to feel your neck kick in, you can try to re-engage some of those muscles, see if you can reposition. But if it's starting to not feel right for you, just pause and give yourself a rest and get back into it. But with that said, we'll go into the other side. So knees are still stacked under the hips, hands are stacked under the shoulders, and we're going to bring that right arm now out in front of us. We're reaching our sternum away from the mat, keeping that plug down from really both sides, both shoulders. We'll take an inhale to prepare and exhale to reach that right arm towards the ceiling. And inhale to lower. Two more. Last one. We'll bring that right arm out to the side to a T. Take an inhale to prepare and exhale to lift. 3 more. Last one. From there, we'll bend the elbow 90 degrees, bring it out to the side. We'll inhale to lower towards the floor, exhale to come up. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. 2 more. Last one. We'll bring the arm down to the side, elbow bent. Take an inhale here to prepare and exhale to straighten. 3 more. Last one. We'll bring that arm down to the side. You can release the ball and come back into your much appreciated rest pose. So from here, we're just going to finish up with a few more exercises, just releasing some tension. So we're going to go into a modified version of our rest pose now. You can come back on your mat a little bit. We'll start in a high kneeling position. You can bring both hands onto the ball. You're going to roll your hands on the ball as you come down into a rest pose, but this time with your hips up towards the ceiling. We'll stack back up just to the point where your hands are still on the ball, and then continue back. Stacking back up. On this next one, when you come forward, we'll stay. Keep the right hand down on the mat, and we'll bring the ball out to the side for a moment. Just getting a nice stretch around that right shoulder. And then we'll reach that left arm through under the right arm. Pinky side of the hand is on the ball. You're just going to rotate over towards the right and then come back a little bit. So you're just letting that ball kind of roll on the floor, allowing yourself to get some nice rotation around the shoulder and the upper back, which should feel really good after just doing that arm work. Last one. We'll bring it back. Actually, you can leave the ball there. We'll switch arms. So we'll come back into a rest pose again. Now leaving that right arm out to the side. Getting a little bit more of a stretch into the left shoulder. And then you can feed that right arm through. Pinky side of that arm is touching the ball. And we'll rotate towards the ball. And then come back just slightly. Straightening into the elbow as you rotate. And then bending into the elbow as you come back. One more. And we'll come back. From there, we're going to bring the ball in between the knees and come back onto our hands and knees. So we're going to do a cat stretch here, sequencing in our breath with that activation pressing into the ball from our inner thighs. So we're just going to take an inhale here first to prepare, and as you exhale, you're gently pressing into the ball as you find that tuck from the pelvis, rounding into the low back. And then as you inhale, we're going to release the ball, release the pelvis forward to a neutral position as you lift from the upper back, finding that extension from your thoracic spine. We exhale to release the thoracic spine back to neutral as we tuck from the pelvis and press into the ball. Release the ball, bring the pelvis back to neutral as you reach up, chest lifts away from the mat. We exhale to bring the chest back down towards the mat as we tuck from the pelvis, pressing into the ball. Last one, each direction. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower and tuck. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower and tuck. We'll release the ball, lower back down one last time into a rest pose that feels comfortable for you. Take an inhale here and exhale, draw that belly button to spine. Slowly stacking one bone at a time all the way back up. Well, nicely done today. Hope you guys enjoyed that workout.